Hello, and welcome to another SHOEBOX how-to video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to set up virtual booths for a remote to office testing experience. To begin, click on the main menu icon to open the main menu. Then, click on Audio Setup. The Audio Setup page is where you will go to create, configure, and select virtual sound booths to use for testing. Booths are used to set up and configure all your testing hardware at once, according to the needs of your organization. The booth will remember the configuration of your testing hardware and your computer of choice to streamline the testing experience. For a remote testing experience, you will need to set up two separate booths, one for the remote audiologist and one for the clinical assistant working with the patient at the clinic. Let's take a look at some examples. First, we'll create a new virtual booth that the audiologist will use by clicking on the plus icon and giving the booth a name. It's good practice to give the booth a name that represents what it has been configured for. In this case, we'll name it Remote Audiologist Booth on the audiologist side. We only need to configure the talk forward microphone and the video camera. These are what will allow the audiologist to communicate with the patient during the remote session. The monitoring headset is only required for monitoring functionality. On the office side, we will need to configure all the appropriate equipment into a default booth that will be used for all tests performed in the office. However, when beginning a remote session from the patient folder, you will need to select your equipment in the Start a Remote Appointment window. This acts as a miniaturized version of the audio setup page, which allows the in-office assistant to select and test the hardware before beginning the remote session. You will select the microphone, speakers, and camera the patient will use for video conferencing with the audiologist, as well as the otoscope that will be used during the session. You will also need to confirm the correct serial numbers for the headset and bone vibrator. Once you've confirmed the hardware is working properly and you've entered the email of the remote audiologist, clicking on Invite will begin the remote session. Pro tip: if the audiologist is switching between various centers, a new booth will need to be set up for each center before receiving a remote call. Ensure that you have chosen the correct center and the corresponding booth, represented by the green check mark. And that summarizes everything you need to know about remote to office booth setup. That's all for this video, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, click below to subscribe. For more information and content related to learning about SHOEBOX, visit our online knowledge base at help.shoebox.md.